Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How we all doing today on this beautiful Money Tuesday? Once again, good morning and happy Money Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. It is June 14th, 2022, 9 o'clock in the morning. And today is going to be an awesome day inside of chat. Today is going to be an awesome day inside of the markets. And I'm very excited to work with each and every one of you. Once again, yesterday inside of chat was amazing. Yesterday in the market was pretty decent. I mean, yes, a little choppy towards the end of the day over lunch, but we had some great action right out of the gate. 10 o'clock, 10:30. So, I mean, some just really nice stocks moving on up. Some great action yesterday, guys, and I'm really excited to see what we have in store for today. At this point in time, we're not really seeing too much. That's the only thing, is we don't really have tons of activity and tons of action in the market at this point in time. But we'll go ahead and talk about what we just had at 8:30, talk about what my expectations are for today in the broader market, looking at the SPY and the Qs. Then we'll go ahead and dissect some of these top gaining penny stocks for the day, right? We'll take a look at KAVL. We'll take a look at SONM, SLNO, maybe some of these prior day movers and back burners, okay? But we'll definitely talk about what we had just coming on up at 8:30, what we had come on up at 8:30. And then we'll talk about how that's going to impact the market today, coming into tomorrow, and what my expectations are for today, which some of you guys already know, right? If you go inside of options chat, you go inside of alerts, if you guys are subscribed to receive signals via SMS, you guys see those were my expectations today. PPI is expected to be bad. Based on CPI data, everybody and their mom were talking about PPI is going to be bad. So, PPI data was expected to be bad, and the markets have been actively pricing that in. Just like the markets have been actively pricing in the reality that Powell and the Fed could raise interest rates, right? 75 basis points. 75 basis points. Good morning. Let's ding in some digits, please. Which crypto wallet platform is good? We'll get to that here in a moment, and we'll definitely help you out over there and make sure that we can, advise you and guide you in the right direction. But that would be a fantastic question. Would be for crypto chat. So definitely throw that up in crypto. Kits King, your text alerts had nothing on to them. What do you mean? What do you mean? That my text alerts had nothing on to them. My text alerts had nothing on them. So you got an alert, but there was no message. Yeah, we'll definitely figure that out. But again, PPI was expected to be bad, right? The market's been actively pricing that in. The market's been actively pricing in that the Fed could raise rates by now 75 basis points, being more aggressive. The markets have been absolutely tanking the last few days. I mean, look at all this weakness. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, yesterday. I mean, we are down in just the last 4 trading sessions. We are down 10% in the last 4 days, which is impressive. It's amazing. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Exactly what we've been talking about. I want to see another leg down. We are currently down here on the S&P, down over 21% at this point in time, officially in a bear market with the S&P 500. Okay, so what did I say this morning? If PPI data comes in at or slightly under those expectations, look for a short-term bounce back over 380. If PPI data comes out and it's worse than those expectations, look for the weakness to continue ahead of tomorrow's FOMC meeting conclusion. I'd still believe that we have room down to 364 on the SPY. I do even think we could see the 350s, but let's start with our first target and our most realistic target first before we think that far ahead or that low down. Looking at, maybe 364, 365. So what did we have this morning with the markets, right? So let's take a look at this PPI data. So we have core PPI and PPI. What's the difference between core and just PPI? Core takes out food, gas, energy, etc. right? PPI adds those variables back in. It weighs in the food, it weighs in the cost of fuel, the cost of energy, the cost of gas, the cost of food, etc. So core PPI year over year was better. Core PPI month over month was better than the expectations. We're looking for PPI month over month. So PPI month over month, 0.8% versus the 0.8% estimate. Okay, what did I say here? If PPI comes in line, or slightly better than those expectations, look for a bounce. What do they come in at? In line with the expectations. So I do think you could see a weak bounce. I'm not saying it's a strong bounce, the bounce that creates the bottom, but I'm saying I do think we can see the markets grind higher today. I do think we could see over 380, maybe back up towards around 380, 180, yesterday's high. I do think we'll see this at some point getting above that 380 level. I don't think it's going to be a huge day to 390, 395, or 400. There's still too much going on this week. What's going on tomorrow? We have the conclusion of the Fed meeting, right? Mr. Powell's going to jump on the stand and get interviewed and hammered with questions. And we know the markets like to react around those times, okay? So I don't expect today to be a huge day. I don't expect today to be a strong day, but I do expect to see a bounce today based on that data coming in line and right at those expectations, maybe back up towards around 381, 382. And then I expect to see the markets more or less choppy tomorrow leading up to the conclusion of the FOMC meeting, and that's tomorrow at 2 p.m. 2 p.m., okay? So I don't expect to see that much action today, but if you're looking at the SPY and the Qs, if you trade options and you're really primarily focused on the SPY and the Qs, at this point in time, I do believe we'll see 380, 381, 382. And I do think it'll be a slight green day, but I do not think it's going to be a crazy volatile day. So don't expect to see 10-point swings. I really don't think we're going to see a 10-point swing. Maybe see about 4 to 6 points today here on the SPY and on the Qs. I don't expect to see that much activity. I don't expect to see that much volatility and that much action, but I do expect there to be some opportunity to be able to lock in some profits. So we'll see how the markets open on up. We'll get prepared, but that's my expectations, and that's what I think is going to happen today, guys. All right, we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these small cap penny stocks. All right, what do we have going on this morning? Well, number one, we do have KAVL. So KAVL reaches an agreement with Philip Morris International for international electronic nicotine delivery system product distribution. I don't even like this stock. Why do I not like this stock right now? Does anybody know why I do not like this stock? So again, KAVL, they reach an agreement with Philip Morris International for international electronic nicotine delivery system. All right. What's the biggest reason why I do not like this stock? Maybe the message was too long. Maybe the message was too long. Ken, yes. That the word nicotine made me think about my body wanting nicotine. The word I wasn't even thinking about it, but now I'm like, the cravings are so real. You guys know it's a real thing when you cold turkey. So yeah, I was joking. I do like the stock. The press release is good. Okay. So yes, KAVL was one of the better looking stocks in pre-market. It was. There's a couple things that I like about KAVL. Okay. We have a decent press release. We had a nice day yesterday. We actually saw a decent little volume day yesterday. We saw that press release. We saw some action in post-market. It's not dumping on off. Number one, it's holding its gains relatively well. Number two, it's trading fantastic volume, right? Look at the volume today, 10 million shares. Look at the volume it typically trades on average, 1.26 million. So we have great volume. That tells us that there are traders here. There's some activity. There's some focus. It's a nice low float stock at 13 million in float. It's up 43%. Again, it didn't just give everything back. It has a catalyst. There is a good press release. But when we zoom out here a little bit, this is why I really like it. This is why I really like it. If we can start breaking 3 and 350, what do we have here on the daily chart, team? What do we have here on KAVL? If we start breaking these upper shadows here from February, March, right around 350, What do we have all the way up towards around $4.50? And real quick, how's the audio? Audio good? Want to make sure it's not clipping. Want to make sure it's not too loud. It's not cutting out. Want to make sure that we are perfect. Gap fill. Exactly. So I like gap fills. Gap fills are filled 80-90% of the time. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Gaps like to be filled. We have this massive gap down from around 445 all the way down to 284. So technically speaking, a break at 284, we start to fill this gap. But we also saw this stock try to get that gap fill in the past, right? So we've seen the break over 284. We've shot up to 350, got rejected. Shot up to 350, got rejected. So one thing that I want to point out is if we do start breaking above 284 and $3, that's a good first sign. But we first have to clear 350. If we cannot clear 350 and break and hold above it here intraday at 350, you're not going to see the 445 gap fill. And one thing I want to point out as well is when we do gap up, sometimes we have a quick spike and a red day. When we gap up, we see we do run on up, but we do leave some upper shadows. So here on the last high volume green day, we gap up. We have a large upper shadow, but we still close green. So that's telling us that we do typically fade and fall. Right here, right? Do we have a nice little gap up, big upper shadow, big upper shadow, big upper shadow. Right here, upper shadow. So we can see that the stock does like to give us some daily upper shadows. That tells us that, hey, we could see some action today. We could see some movement. Nice green day, some nice green days, some nice green days. Especially after this nice big gap up, we had a decent green day. But look at this big gap up. We actually had a quick spike and then a dump. So it's not super clear to where we can say we have like 80% odds that we're going to see a strong green day and then an end of day fade. But what we do know is that there is typically some selling pressure. That's what we do know. On this green day, selling pressure. Here, gap up, quick spike, closed red, selling pressure. Upper shadow, selling pressure. Upper shadow, selling pressure. Upper shadow indicates selling pressure. So what we do see here is the stock has potential to move. The stock could move today. The stock could do fantastic. But what we could see is this stock actually give a lot of those gains back towards the end of the day. So let's just go ahead and think that and go ahead and have that in the back of our mind, that if we do indeed start to see the stock top on out, it could actually go red today. It could give a good amount of these gains back if we do have a good start to the day. So again, if we can start breaking that 350 level intraday, breaking and holding above 350 here intraday, we do have room to fill this gap at 445. If we can't break 350, that's the point where we'll probably just start giving a lot of these intraday gains back. But if we can start breaking above 284 and $3, we do have some great potential to 351. And then breaking and holding that 351, we can see this all the way up towards around that 445 to fill that daily gap. Right now, support is going to be back down towards around 190 to $2. So we do need to watch KAVL at this point in time. Again, it's not too active right now. It's not really moving aggressively. It's not really doing all that much. But it is a stock that has potential for today. So I definitely want to keep this one on watch. And that's kind of what I'm doing today, team, is a lot of these stocks are just kind of on watch. There's not tons of opportunity in the market. There's not tons of active stocks. That one stock that grabs my attention that says, I'm ripping today. This is the stock that you definitely want to be on. I don't really see that in the market. So a lot of these stocks, they're decent. They have potential. But I'm planning on just really sitting back at the start of the day. 9:30, looking at my scanners. Where's the top stock at? What's the stock that has the best potential? Where do I want to get involved? I can't really identify that stock right now. Next, we have SONM, right? SONM. What's going on here? Well, they receive an additional $6.4 million in initial stocking orders from U.S. and Canadian carriers. SONM is a lower float stock, 18 million in float. Trading good volume, up 40%. Has a great catalyst. But what's the thing with SONM? It's not doing anything. That's really happening across the board, right? SONM, good press release, right? SONM, low float, it could rip. SONM, up 40%. Okay. SONM, trading great volume. Fantastic. You look at the chart, doesn't really look that good. It's not really doing all that much. Quick spike on up, but since then, just kind of fading. it doesn't really grab your attention. It doesn't really excite you. I want that stock that's like, oh my gosh, it excites me. This is the stock that's going to absolutely rip and run. We're not finding that right now. But it is a stock that has potential. There is a catalyst. There's a reason for the stock to be moving. There is good volume. It's a low float stock. Now we just need to wait for traders to pick one of these stocks. Traders say, you know what? It's SONM. Let's get it going. That's going to bring in volume. The stock's going to be active. And if the stock has volume and the stock is active, now there's opportunity to lock in some profits. We just don't really have that activity right now. We have to sit back and wait for that opportunity to come to us. Where are traders going to go? We do have some potential today with SONM. Top resistance, 86 cents. Bottom support, 64 cents at this point in time. We'll be watching SONM. CLVS, right? CLVS on the 3rd. So you're talking about 10 days ago. No fresh news, no fresh filings. But thanks to Beth, we realized they have a press release here on the 3rd of June here on CLVS. Phase 3 results were presented on the 3rd. So they had positive phase 3 results. Stock didn't really do anything. There was like no reaction whatsoever. Prior news, and it just ripped up last night. Again, I don't see any filings. I don't see any press releases. I don't see a reason for CLVS to make that rip. The only thing that makes sense to me, number one, maybe it was on a watch list because it had positive phase 3 results. I would probably put that stock on a watch list because it had such a good press release. And if it didn't do anything that day, maybe I add it to a prior day mover list. I could see myself still having this stock on a watch list, okay? And then yesterday, the stock hit a new 52-week low, right? Could be an all-time low. Are we on a max? Yeah, that's an all-time low. Traders come in at all-time lows. So we come down to 58 cents yesterday, all-time low, right? And then we just start to see a little bit of volume in the day. And now it's hitting that post-market scanner. Most up, most down in post-market. Most volume in post-market. Now traders just start moving on in, moving on in, moving on in. So what triggered this was an all-time low. What triggered this was probably scanners in post-market saying, there's volume. It's moving up in post-market. And then traders just rush on in. But there's no real reason for the stock to be moving today, right? Again, the last press release that the stock had and this company had was on the 3rd, and it didn't even do anything on the 3rd. So now it's just momentum. Now it's just volume. If we can continue to see these traders stay here, we continue to see this volume, and we continue to see this momentum and this push and this action to the upside, it's tradable. But if it starts dumping on off, let it dump on off. Move on to the next best opportunity. Again, right now, there's no real strong catalyst as to why CLVS is moving on up. Here's the other thing that I don't like about CLVS. It's a large float stock. It's $142 million in float. I like low float stocks that can rip and run. This is going to take a little bit to get going. What's something else I'm not crazy about CLVS? Look at the volume. Compare it to the average, right? We're trading 4 million shares. On average, we trade 12. So again, we don't have the volume right now. It's a very large float stock. It's not low. I want to find that stock that could rip $1, $1.50, $1.60, like the trade from yesterday. So there's a few reasons why I'm not crazy about CLVS, but you may be watching it, so I wanted to talk about it. We need to see the stock break above 97 cents. Okay? Over 97 cents, you should watch it. But just remember, you have a dollar resistance as well. So the first level is 97 cents to break above. If you're breaking 97, you'll want to see it break $1 as well. So if you can break above 97 cents to $1 and stay above 97 cents to $1, yes, you can see this back up towards around 110. And that's decent. Right? If you catch this at 97 cents or $1 for a break and retest, and you take profits at 109, 110, you just made 10%. Okay, I'll take 10%. So there's potential here. But if it cannot break above 97 cents and it cannot stay above 97 cents to $1, it's probably not going to do all that much. All right? Where's support at right now? Back down to 80 cents, 79 to 80 cents. Where's resistance? 97 cents to $1. If you break and hold above that level of resistance, you can see it up towards around 110 to 115. And if I'm wrong, and this stock just rips today with no news, light volume, large flow, and for some reason traders land on this stock, okay, we can see it up towards around 138 here on CLVS. So another stock we will be watching, but I'm not all that crazy about it. But we'll keep it on watch. Maybe there's some opportunity. Maybe the stock does really catch that focus. All right, again, it looks decent. It's not bad. That's why I'm watching it, but there's no news. everything that we just discussed. Again, right now it's more of a back burner for me, but we'll keep it on watch around that 97 cent to $1 area. Once again, up to 110, 115. And who knows? Maybe this stock really starts squeezing and ripping and running. Maybe up to 138. But again, there's no news. Large float, light volume. The only reason it's moving is, again, it caught some volume into the day yesterday off that all-time low. Starts hitting everybody's scanners most likely in post-market. This is the only stock moving in post-market. Traders want to trade. It rips all the way to 115. This morning, it's gaining in pre-market, so traders are looking at it. Again, it all started with a little bit of volume yesterday. And then that volume carried over just a little bit into post-market. It all started with that little bit of volume. Now it's on scanners, and it just happened to get some movement from traders. So we'll keep it on watch, guys. Maybe there's still some focus here. Okay. Next, SLNO. Again, look at the chart. It's not doing anything right now. SLNO presents long-term data for DCCR showing metabolic and body composition improvements for patients with PWS. All right, so we got long-term data. They presented long-term data for their DCCR showing metabolic and body composition improvements in patients with PWS. I don't know what PWS means, but all I do know is the stock's not doing anything. Right? I look at SLNO, and I'm like, you know what? SLNO may have some potential. Right? It's up 28%. It's trading 8 million shares on average. It trades 1. All right, we got some volume. You know, I don't like the float, but it's not a billion float. You know, it's 80 million, and it's a nice cheap stock. The stock can move. But then I look at this mess, and I look at this chart. Does that chart really stand out to you and scream, oh my gosh, this is going to be the stock that rips to the moon today? No. When I look at this chart, I'm just like, I don't really like it. There's no opportunity, right? I want to see volume, number one. I want to see the stock active. I want to see it moving. I want to see it consistent. I want to see it actually respecting some technicals. I want to see that there's traders here, right? Right now, I look at this chart. I don't see traders here. I don't see consistency. I don't see that the stock is respecting technicals at this point in time. I don't see opportunity, period. So doesn't meet the criteria to be on the watch list. It does, right? It has high relative volume. The float's nice and low. Comparing it to the price, it can move. It has a catalyst, and it has a pretty good catalyst. It just needs that volume, baby. It just needs that activity. It needs some traders. So it meets the watch list criteria. It's going to the watch list. But am I really excited about this stock? Am I really fired up thinking this is my number one stock for the day? No, I'm not. All right. So it's a little bit of a back burner right now. And then maybe GMVD. And the only reason I'm even discussing GMVD is because a lot of you guys were discussing this one yesterday. I'm personally not looking at this one throughout the day. I'm personally not, going to be trading this one today, but I do want to talk about it for those of you that are still watching it. Okay. So what do you have here on GMVD? Well, you have a stock that has flat resistance between 75 to 78 cents. We can see there's flat resistance here since Friday, and it's building higher lows. What kind of chart formation consists of flat resistance, flat resistance with higher lows? What chart formation has higher lows with flat resistance? Right, ascending triangles. We know that they like to break resistance and rip to the upside. These are continuation formations, right? You have a nice little uptrend. They're intended to break resistance and continue this uptrend. So that's all we really have here with GMVD. Throw this on a 1 hour time frame. We see higher lows, flat resistance. That could push the stock up to 94 cents, up to $1. So for those of you watching GMVD from yesterday, you can watch it today as long as you hold this trend line. You'd really like to see the stock breaking above 75 to 80 cents. That's when you could start to see some action up towards around 94 cents and then up towards around $1. Okay, so again, what do we have? KAVL, definitely a stock that I want to watch out of the gates. But for the most part, team, I'm sitting back out of the gate, looking to see where the volume goes, where the attention goes. Where are 80% of the traders? Where are they going? We'll find out. We'll be looking at our halt and resume scanner. We'll be looking at that high of the day momentum scanner, the breakout scanner, looking to see where traders go. Where's the best opportunity right at 9:30? We will find out here very, very shortly. I see you guys talking about INDO. So really quick, what's up with INDO? Do we have like a direct press release here? Is it because oil is up at 122 a barrel? So INDO, a little bit of a pop here. Let's go ahead and look at like maybe IMPP. Is that one popping on up? It's kind of moving a little bit. How about HUSA? That's popping on up. What about CEI? That's popping on up. All right, team. So maybe we look at some of these small cap oil stocks. INDO, that's a small cap oil stock. All right, you got IMPP, that's a small cap oil stock. You got CEI and HUSA. These are all small cap oil stocks. MXC is another one that doesn't really do too much. So let's watch some of these out of the gate, guys. All right, let's just start with INDO. It's a low float stock. It's creeping on up, currently up 28% at this point in time. Let's watch INDO out of the gate, and let's see if INDO gets some action. Let's see if there's any opportunity with INDO. Again, I like it just because it's a nice low float stock. Is there a lot of credibility? Yeah, you know, oil's still grinding on up, so there's some credibility here behind these small cap oil stocks. So if oil can start breaking like 124 a barrel today, wouldn't even say 124. I would say that prior level of resistance right around 123 to 124, that's where we could see some volume really move on in to oil, right? And really start to see this open on up and really start to push itself up into the high 120s, right around 130 on oil. And if we see that explosive breakout, let's say that oil breaks today and it's explosive and it rips $6 a barrel, okay? That's absolutely going to push stocks up like INDO, INPP, and CEI. So that's one approach for today. Maybe you're looking at oil off to the side, looking to see what oil's doing. And if oil starts to become explosive and breaking, you're already ready to go. You can jump into INDO, you can jump into CEI, you can jump into IMPP, expecting to see these small cap oil stocks become explosive as well. So I'll definitely watch INDO out of the gate. I'll be looking at oil to see what oil does. And then I'll still be watching KAVL to see if we ever start breaking that 284 up to 3 and then 314, maybe up to that 350 level. And if we ever break and hold above 350, we have that gap to be filled up towards around 445. So I'll absolutely be watching KAVL out of the gate. SONM, CLVS is not bad. I'll watch CLVS out of the gate. SLNO, not really. GMVD, not really. So here are my top stocks out of the gate. I'll be watching INDO. Oil's moving on up. It's one of the lowest float stocks on the leaderboard. I like low float stocks. I'll watch INDO. For those of you that like slow or steady movers, not as volatile, slow and steady. You got KAVL. We've already discussed it. This is definitely a good stock to be watching right at 9:30. And then you do have CLVS. I do think this is a good stock to be watching right around 9:30 as well. But personally, for me, I'll be looking at INDO right out of the gate, team. All right, so INDO right out of the gates. And let's make sure we didn't miss anything. What's up with REV? REV, Revlon. People still buy that? Revlon shares fall 25% as they near Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So their shares are falling 25% as it reportedly nears Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Okay, so we're just bouncing here. Better opportunity in the market. Once again, INDO, I'll watch this one out of the gate. And then we're watching KAVL as well, team. Now, if there's any stocks that you think have good potential, you think I'm missing something, now's the time to let me know. Say, Josh, how did you miss this stock? This stock is beautiful. It looks scrumptious. I want to buy it and I want to hold it because it's going to the moon. What stocks do you see have great potential? Make sure I'm not missing anything. But right now, I don't think we are. Right now, I think we're on top of it. I know we're on top of it. We know exactly what to expect for the day. We know exactly what we're expecting for the SPY and the Qs. I expect to see a bounce back over 380 on the SPY today. I expect to see the Qs back above 280, maybe 4 to 6 points at most today, leading up to tomorrow's FOMC meeting. I'm watching INDO out of the gates. I'm watching KAVL out of the gates. And really what I'm doing is more or less sitting back on my hands, looking to see what stocks hit that breakout scanner. Looking to see what stocks start hitting that high of the day momentum scanner. Where are traders going? What stock are they landing on? What stock have they chosen? The chosen one. What's the chosen stock of the day? Let's sit back and wait and see where traders decide to go. Good morning. Good morning. Wicked, Ken, Rob, Asif, Morgan, good morning. And today should be the last day of feeling funky. Today's my third full day of no nicotine. So I feel a lot better, but I still feel slightly out of it. So I'm still going to be conservative and scale back my size like I did yesterday. But I'm still here to trade. I'm still here to make some money. So let's do it. But if you see me being less aggressive, that's why, because I still feel just a little funky, a little out of it. But we're all set, ready to rock, guys. All right, so the market's open in 3, 2, 1. Ring-a-ding-ding. The market's open. Let's have some fun, team. Let's make it happen. Let's get you guys in profits chat, and let's make some money. You guys want to? You want to make some money? Let's go. Let's make some money, team. Let's make it happen. But again, where does it all start? It all starts with the best trades. If you're taking the best trades, the money will follow. So you want the money, you need to be taking the best of the best setups and the best of the best trades. It all starts right there. Steven, I'm proud of you. Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate the support. Again, we're here to help one another. We hold each other accountable. We push one another. We build one another up when it comes to the stocks. And hey, we even do it non-stock related stuff. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It was definitely a struggle. It has been a struggle. But honestly, I don't even want it. That's where people struggle, is they're like, oh, I want that cigarette. I want that nicotine. Honestly, I don't even want it. I'm just getting over the withdrawal. That's it. My body's literally just getting over the withdrawal aspect. My mind, I don't want one. I don't want the gum. I don't want the packets. I don't want the vape. So once my body gets over it, I'm good. Like, I don't want it. I just need my body to get over that desire. And hopefully today's the day that that happens, because after that, I'm good, because I don't even want another nicotine packet. I don't want any more gum. I don't want it. I'm good. So the mindset part, the discipline, that's going to be easy. That's going to be so easy. I don't want it. All right, so right now, INDO, we could see this back down around like 896. KAVL. You know, maybe if we start breaking that downtrend, maybe we got something on KAVL if we break the downtrend. CLVS is trying to break its downtrend. So let's watch CLVS here. Back up towards around 97 cents next. That's going to be some resistance right around 97 cents. And then you're up towards around $1. What we're really looking for is this to break and hold 97 cents. That's a good sign. And then we could see, you know, that break over $1, push this up to 110, 115. So right now, CLVS is where we're at. I know we have SONM hitting that high of the day momentum scanner, guys. So SONM is hitting the breakout scanner, and it is hitting the high of the day momentum scanner. But let's be honest, CLVS looking a little bit better here as we are starting to break on out. So right now, our focus is CLVS. Yo, that's insane. Steven said, I literally started my trading with money I saved from quitting nicotine. About $3,500 per year. Literally, that is now $26,000. Quitting was the beginning to a better life. I love it. That is absolutely amazing. That's inspirational right there. Woo! My goodness. That is awesome. I love the discipline. I love the attitude. I love the approach, man. That is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Oh, wow. I got a whole whopping $100 of unrealized profit in my long-term account. So right now, just watching CLVS at this point in time. If you guys see anything else that pops up, any stock that you think has good potential, like, Josh, why are you not watching ABC stock? Why are you looking at CLVS? ABC is on fire. It's on fire. Let me know. Right now, we're just sitting back looking at CLVS, looking to see if this bad boy ever sets on up. Red box. RDBX is squeezing here. Let's go ahead and shift our focus to RDBX. RDBX, guys. All right, RDBX at this point in time starting to get some action. Again, these are prior day movers. So RDBX is a prior day mover, just so you guys know. AERC is a prior day mover. That was one of yesterday's top gainers. You got CYN, you got PBTS, you got COGT, you have EFOY. A lot of these are prior day movers. So if our fresh stocks with fresh opportunity don't really do too much here, absolutely, we're going right back over to those prior day movers. And those prior day movers, once again, you have RDBX. All right, that's a prior day mover. Quick pop out of the gate. AERC. That was one of yesterday's big movers. That was my trade of the day. We'll definitely watch this one. But right now, team, we're only about 5 minutes in. I really want to find that consistent stock. I want to find that stock that's not just pumping on up and dumping on back down in 2 minutes. I really want to identify the stock that has just the absolute best potential. All right, what stock is going to be the most consistent stock of the day to get you guys on the right stock? So let's see. So just watching CLVS, just watching CLVS at this point in time, guys. Again, I have no positions right now at this point in time. I am positionless. I have been positionless all day. I have no desire to trade anything right now. I don't see anything that I want to get involved with. Again, I'm very, very picky and particular about the types of trades that I get involved with. I'm looking for the absolute best setup here. The absolute best entry on the absolute best stock. I'm not here to gamble. I'm not here to just jump in the trades because I think they're going to move or I hope they're going to move. I need to have that confidence and that conviction. And right now, I'm not really seeing anything that gives me the confidence to be a buyer yet or the conviction that the stock is going to rip in my direction. So I'm just kind of sitting on my hands right now at this point in time. Until we see more consistency, really move on in and really land on a set stock. Right now at this point in time, I am not in anything, and I don't see anything that I want to get in on. But let's do this. We've had about 7 minutes out of the gates here on the SPY, and I would like to see where some support is and where some resistance is. Like I told you guys earlier, I do think you'll see the SPY back over 380 today. There's just something about it. I think you'll see a slight little green day. You're very overextended to the downside. You're very overextended to the downside. You're oversold as well. I mean, you're getting pretty darn close. I mean, let's just say you're pretty oversold right here. Very overextended. I mean, literally in the last 4 days, you've dropped 10% in 4 days. Okay? We've actively been pricing everything in. CPI got us going, right? CPI, recession, the Fed with 75 basis points. Everything that we've seen over the past, few days, over the weekend, everything that we've heard or seen or news and articles, that's all been getting priced in, right? It's been all getting priced in. CPI is going to be higher than expected. We're pricing that in. CPI is higher than expected. Price that in. 75 basis point rate hike. Let's price that in. We're pricing everything in. PPI is probably going to be bad. Let's price that in. Well, PPI wasn't as bad as what we thought. Now, was it bad? Yes, it was bad. But it wasn't worse than what we thought. We were actually in line. And core was actually slightly better than our expectations. So the market already priced in the worst case scenario, and we already priced that in. We already priced it. It's going to be bad. But we were not pricing in it's going to be over expectations. If it was worse than expectations, markets go red. We're actually in line, right? So yeah, PPI is not great. The numbers weren't fantastic, but that's already been priced in. So at this point in time, what do we have? Well, we have our FOMC meeting tomorrow. That's where the Fed's going to come out and make a definitive decision. Are we going to go 50 basis points or 75? The market's pricing in the potential of 75. So if we see 75, all right, you get a neutral reaction. If you see 50 basis points, they're like, yeah, you know what? We're not going to be aggressive. We're actually not going to do the 75. We're going to go 50. The markets are like, wow, we were pricing in 75. You're doing 50. Okay, whoop. You see a nice little short-term relief bounce. So again, just based on everything that's in front of us and the facts and the data that we have, I mean, I would lean more towards the slight green day. That's just me. A small little slight green day, maybe back above 380. That's what I would think. And that's kind of where I'm leaning at this point in time. All right. But we'll see. We're only 9 minutes in. We'll definitely start to see here over the next maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe we get a quick little red to green move, a nice little break over the open here. Start working our way back up to those pre-market levels, right? Between 380, 380.62-ish. But what I would say, if you guys disagree with that statement, you're like, no, the weakness is going to continue. We could absolutely see that. We could absolutely see the weakness continue. Okay, 100%. So we always need to have a short plan in place as well. When you guys agree, not just a long plan in place, but a short plan. Let's say that we don't get that little bit of a bounce. All right, let's say that we do continue to sell off and the weakness continues. Well, we start cracking below this low right here, right around 375. You're coming back down to yesterday's lows of 373.30. You start cracking below 373.30. I still believe there's room down to 372.56. Okay, so if we start cracking these levels, the first one, 375, boom, you could look to short this down to yesterday's lows and then down to 372.56. But at this point in time, I'm not touching it because I still kind of leaning towards the little bit of a bounce day, back up to around 380, 381. Again, I can completely be wrong, and I'm not here to be right 100% of the time. I just want to make sure that I have a long plan in place and a short plan in place and just be prepared on both ends of the spectrum. So I don't really care what happens. I don't care if it's a bounce up to 380. I don't care if it's a dump down to 370. I just want to see the thing move. So I have a long plan and a short plan, both ends of the spectrum. And at this point in time, now we're just kind of waiting to see what's the decision. What's the decision right now on the SPY and the Qs? All right, so there's your break and retest over 97 cents. So right up to 97 cents. Nice little pullback. Breaking 97 cents on fantastic volume. Nice little pullback. So right now, traders, as long as you stay above 97 cents, you have potential to break $1 and rip to 109 and 110. Maybe even 115 on CLVS. Okay, so as long as you're above that 97 cent level, that's a good sign that shows strength. We have potential to break and squeeze through $1 for that next leg up towards around 109 to 110. And then we could see that 115 level hit as well. So a little bit of a false breakout above 1. Again, we don't buy breaks, we buy retests. That's me anyway. I'm not a breakout trader. I'm a break and retest trader. I wait for the retest of the breakout level before getting involved. AERC is currently halted to the downside. AERC is currently halted, team, to the downside. AERC, we could see this fall back down towards around that 1370 level. 1370. RDBX is too choppy. So you do have INDO, HUSA moving, right? I'm really just kind of still sitting back looking to see where the volume goes. That's it. Where's the best stock? That's it, guys. The last thing I want to be doing is saying, oh, AERC is going to the moon. AERC is the #1 stock of the day. Let's go. Woohoo. Oh, no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to chase stocks. I don't want to just get in. I don't want to be the guinea pig. What do I want to do? I want to wait and really see, okay, this is the stock. This is the top stock of the day, and here's why. It's consistent. It's proven itself multiple times, okay? It's consistently moving up. It's respecting the technicals. That's what I want to see, and that's when I want to start getting involved in the stock. And right now, INDO has potential. Sure, INDO has potential. Still need to see it become a little bit more consistent. I'd like to see it above 10. HUSA has great potential as well, Tate. Fantastic potential with HUSA. So right now, I'm really looking at INDO and HUSA as my top stocks. AERC halted to the downside. Okay, AERC halted on down. KAVL is not really doing too much at this point in time, still dropping. SONM, it's not really doing anything right now. CLVS, it's struggling right around 97 cents. SLNO, it's not doing anything. GMVD, it's not doing anything. So just like that, we know exactly what stocks to watch. Number 1, INDO. Number 2, HUSA. These are the top 2 stocks that I'm watching right now at this point in time. All right, so right now, nothing else really moving. Simply watch these small cap oil stocks. Stocks like CEI, HUSA, INPP, INDO. Right now, HUSA is the stock getting the love, is the stock getting that activity. So this is the number 1 stock we are watching. Where could we see this go? Well, right now, 804 resistance. And then from 804, we could see this up towards around 860. So here's what I want to see take place on HUSA, right? We just broke the 744 level, and we just ripped all the way up towards around 804 resistance, which was the spiking high from the 9th. Now, the 9th was last Thursday. So last Thursday's high a day, right around 804. So we just ripped from 740 to $8, right? It's up 60 cents to the upside, not really giving us that clean, consistent pullback. Want to see this thing pull back towards around 740 to 750. I want to see it get rejected off 8 and come on down to the 740, 750, set up for an entry. If we see that, that's where I'd be looking to possibly get involved with HUSA back down around 740, 750. If it breaks 804 here, it's going to go right up to that 860, and we'll sit back and look for the next best opportunity if it breaks out instead of pulling on back. But I'd like to see a nice little pullback here. If INDO can break and stay above 10, there's opportunity. So if we can break and hold above $10, INDO could really start moving on up. But it's really got to break that $10 level. Actually, it's got to break 1014. That's your 200 SMA. So INDO needs to get above that 1014 level before we have any kind of potential. Then you could see it up towards around the high at 1050. But the next main level of resistance here is going to be you got like 1080 and then 1177. So there's so much potential on INDO as well. So much potential. So those are the top 2. Top 2 INDO, HUSA at this point in time. What was our close yesterday? Our close yesterday was right at 375 to the penny, and that's a level that we're keeping on watch here on the SPY. If we're trading above yesterday's close, we have room back up to yesterday's open at 380, and then yesterday's high right around 381.80. Those are my levels, right? Basically playing yesterday's high, low, open, close. So yesterday's close is support right now. If we crack below that level, yesterday's low is support. We want to see it holding above yesterday's low, ideally yesterday's close. As long as we hold above those levels, I do expect to have a green day back up to yesterday's open, 380, and then yesterday's highs, 381.80. And that may be a slow 2-hour grind, but that's the potential that I see. Right now, the number one stock is HUSA team. HUSA, number one. Number two, INDO at this point in time, team. I'm still tradeless, just so you guys know. Still have no trades on the day. Full disclosure, fully transparent. Still just kind of sitting back, looking to see where the best of the best of the best opportunity is. If you guys see anything that's moving on up that you think has good potential, let me know. If there's any other stocks that you think have the best of the best potential, let me know. Right here we go. Boom. Took the break in the retest. CLVS. Kit's king. That's how we do it. Good job. Break and retest. Very nice. Now, you took some heat, but again, you got to be willing to take some heat in the stock market. Nothing's ever going to break and retest beautifully. Sometimes it will. Congrats. But you have to be willing to take some heat. So if you guys took that trade, good work. Right? How do you build a trade plan? Well, it's very easy. The break and retest at 97 cents. Where are you buying it at? 97 cents. What's your reward? $1.09. How much is that? 13 cents of profit. What's your max risk? No more than 7 cents. Where does 7 cents put you? Down here at 90 cents. So you're buying at 97 cents. You're risking 7 to make 14. So you bought at 97. Did you get stopped out? No. Did you hit target? Yes. Congratulations. You just hit your first target on CLVS for the break and retest over 97 cents. Now, was it a textbook break retest rip? No. You took about 2 cents of heat, but that's okay. You had 14 cents of upside potential. You could have risked your 7 cents. You took barely any heat on this trade. Congratulations. So Kit's King got the break and retest. Nice. You took 1/3 at 110. Let's go ahead and do this. Where could we see it go next? I'm sure that's your question. All right, Josh. All right, I got the break and the retest. I'm currently up over 10% on the day. Where's it going next? Where's my final target? I would say 135. I would say 135 is going to be one of your final targets. Now, could you see 145 and 150? Absolutely. But I would really be looking to sell a good majority at 135. Okay, so play it every, I would say 25 cents. So you're going to play it up towards around 125. It's psychological. It's 125, psychological level. I would trim a little bit there. You don't have to do a third, but you need to trim maybe a little bit. But then your main target's 135 on CLVS. So again, 135 on CLVS is going to be one of your main targets. So I do like INDO. So let's do this real quick, team. I'm going to use the restroom. Again, you guys know I drink way too much water. I'm going to use the restroom. I got about 30 seconds, 60 seconds. I'll be back. I'm watching INDO. Maybe there's a trade coming on up. The second thing is today. It's today free stream day on YouTube. Should today be free stream day, or maybe we do that some other day? Let me know, guys. What should we do? Free stream day, or maybe we save that for another day? Let me know. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom, but I am watching INDO coming on up, just so you know. INDO, just so you know, is what I'm looking at. I'll be right back with you guys. All right, we are back. All right, so right now, INDO. INDO, I do like this potential off this higher low. I do see potential for a break of the downtrend. How's HUSA doing? HUSA. And how's oil looking right now? Oil's at 123.45 a barrel. So we can see oil broke and retested that level. So it really depends on what oil does here, depending on how I trade. Maybe INDO coming on up. But we did see oil, nice big rip, pull back and retest. Let's see if oil is going to continue to move on up here. I'm just curious, because if oil starts just dumping, that may pull down some of these small cap oil stocks as well. So I'm curious to see if oil is going to hold on up here. I do like this potential that we have on INDO. I do like the potential on INDO, guys. I'm watching INDO for the break of the downtrend, break over 10 for that nice little rip and run here on INDO. So I am watching INDO here right around this 950 level for a moment. If we do hold 950 and we start to see a nice little bounce, I do believe we could see a break of that downtrend, a break above 10, up towards around 1014, 1050, and then maybe even 1080. So I am watching INDO at this point in time. If I do take a trade, it's going to be very, very small size. I'd risk about 20 cents a share, but I would take like maybe a quarter position. If I want 2,000 shares, that means I'm taking 500 shares. 2,000 shares at a 20-cent risk is what? It's $1,000. No, it's not. 2,000 shares risking 20 cents is $400. But if I scale in, I'm only losing $100 at 500 shares if I am wrong. But I am watching INDO here for this possible higher low off this trend line, for the break of the VWAP, break of the downtrend, break of $10. Curious to see if that's where volume starts moving on in, and see if we do have some opportunity with INDO coming on up. So I'm just watching INDO for this moment, right at this moment. If you start cracking below like 935, it's going to come back down to 912. But I am watching INDO here above 950. So I am watching INDO. I'm really watching INDO. So you guys know, I'm not just like, oh, I'm watching it. I'm really watching it here above that 950. Really watching it. Like, I has all of my focus right now. I see oil trying to push into a new high here. I see the potential with INDO. I like these higher lows. I like the potential to break that downtrend, to break that VWAP. That would show some strength here. And then pushing back above $10. That's where volume's really going to start moving in. So I know at this point in time, we can go from 960 up to at least, 1014. So I see the potential here. I like the potential. I like the low risk. I like the decent reward here. That's why I'm willing to take a stab at this. I'm willing to jump on in. I'm willing to scale in here. If we start cracking below 950, I'll walk away. All right, if it starts cracking below 950, I get out. But right now, if it does start bouncing here and breaking that VWAP, we can make a couple bucks. Cost basis right now for me is 966. 966 is my cost basis. We need to start breaking the VWAP and the downtrend in the next 1 to 2 minutes. There's a big seller there. I don't like that. I'm going to take half off the table on INDO. There's about a 10,000 share sell order that just came through. Let's see if that's a real order. 960 got about 10,000 shares. When traders see that, they're like, ugh. All right, I'm out. I'm out of INDO. I'm out completely. I don't like that big sell order. I'm not going to chance it. Not going to risk it. Let me just go ahead and get out real quick just to make sure it doesn't dump below 950. Assuming it doesn't dump below 950, there's still potential here. But I'm not going to risk it in case that big order does scare a lot of traders out and they start selling and the thing starts cracking and dumping on down. So right now, I'm not going to chance it. I'm just going to go ahead and walk away from the trade, but still look at it and see if it is going to potentially, hold that trend line and see if it's potentially going to break this VWAP and break this downtrend. So I'm still watching INDO, building some higher lows. Now we have these lower highs. We are getting tight inside of this triangle. A little bit of a symmetrical triangle formation here with INDO. So if we can hold that 950 and hold these higher lows and hold that trend line, and we can break that VWAP, that's going to push us up to the downtrend. Maybe we can break that downtrend and break 10 and start, taking on off, maybe open on up a little bit. If oil breaks that high, I think INDO can start moving. If oil cracks and starts moving lower, I think INDO's going to crack and move back down towards around $9. So I'm just watching INDO here at this point in time, traders. I see some potential with INDO. I do not want to take my focus away from it, come back in 2 minutes, and see the stock up $1. Right? If it starts to move, if we start to get some better volume, if we start breaking that VWAP, that downtrend in 10, I think there's great potential here with INDO. I'm not going to remove my focus from INDO, come back in 5 minutes, and see the stock at $11. I see the potential. I think there's some opportunity. I'm watching it right now at this point in time. Let's see. Let's see if we get any kind of action with INDO here. Maybe not. Maybe it just starts dumping on off. Maybe it just starts cracking 950 and dumping. I mean, oil is starting to squeeze on up here a little bit. Look at oil. Oil is starting to move on up. Oil just put in a nice new high. Oil put in a nice new high there. Nice action on oil /CL, crude oil. INDO is dumping on off now. So if you go look at CL oil, that had a nice big push up to 123.63. Nice little pop there on /CL oil. How's HUSA doing? HUSA kind of pulling back a little bit. INDO pulling back here a little bit. Just a simple crack here. REV is moving. REV, it's a dead cat bounce. That's what we're seeing here on REV. Just a little bit of a dead cat bounce. Dead cat bounce. They are in talks of getting delisted and filing bankruptcy. So just play it safe. You probably don't want to own this. You probably don't want to, invest in it. So make sure that you're just day trading it only. You did just break above 2. So you could see some support right around $2. You could see $2 support at this point in time. Here on REV, $2 support. But if you crack below 2, support's back down at 180 and then back down around 169. So that's going to be on REV. $2 support at this point in time. If you lose $2, back down around 180. If you dip below 180, back down towards around 169. There's really not a lot of action with small caps right now. I mean, REV looks to be the best. But other than that, INDO, failing. HUSA, starting to roll on over. KAVL, nothing. SONM, nothing. CLVS, already broke and retested. Your trade's done on CLVS. There's no fresh entries right now at this point in time. The only thing that you have here is maybe a bounce off the trend line. That's about it. Maybe a little bit of a bounce off the trend line with CLVS. That's all you really have at this point in time, is maybe a nice little bounce off this trend line coming on up. Back up towards around 112 to 113. Maybe, but it doesn't look the best. SLNO is dead. GMVD is dead. RDBX is choppy. So is AERC, CYN, PBTS, COGT. Again, there's not too much. Right now, REV team. REV is the one stock that has the best potential. Nice. Ken locked in 392 on CLVS. Good job. Way to come in and way to make it happen. Nice little profit there. Very nice little profit there. Congratulations on that profit. It's fantastic. Coming on in, making yo money, making it happen. Congrats. REV is starting to really squeeze on up here right now, team. Where are you going next? $3. Over $3, 364. Right now, REV is getting some great action at this point in time. REV getting some great action. This is the #1 stock to watch. Right now, REV, if you're buying it right here, you're chasing it and you know you're chasing it. Let's be honest. If you're buying right here at 265, you're chasing it and you know you're chasing it. So what are you not doing? You're not buying it at 265. Like, period. You're just not. Plus, it's getting halted right now at this point in time. Right now, 266 getting halted. Looks like we're getting halted. And we're halted. 266. All right, so right when we broke that 205 is when we really started to take on off. So, yeah, I didn't really expect too much out of REV today. I didn't expect too much, but this is the stock that's getting the action. So now that we see that REV is getting the action, and this is the stock, this is the #1 stock, this is where our focus is at this point in time. I want to go back over and look at oil. That's starting to roll on over here a little bit. INDO, fitty. HUSA still looks decent. So REV was halted at 10:05:31. So at 10:10:31 we'll be live. We have about 4 minutes to go. In the meantime, let's shift our focus back over to INDO. Shift our focus back over to HUSA at this point in time. So HUSA breaking over 804, and HUSA has potential to 859, 860. INDO right now, as long as we hold this floor right around 917 support, you do have room back to 977. Break the downtrend. You can see it at 10 and then 1014. So you could have 977 resistance. If you break the VWAP and you break that downtrend, you could see 10 to 1014 next. And then anything over that level of resistance, you have room to 1050 and then 1080 here on INDO. So right now we are watching INDO here. We are seeing a decent little bounce off these lows. HUSA, new high a day over 804. And once again, REV will be live at 10:10:31. So we still have plenty of time, about 3 more minutes to go. Let's see if INDO is going to get a nice little pop here. You have HUSA pulling back towards around that 804 for a nice little retest. Let's see if buyers can get INDO above 950. Maybe pushing this back up towards around 977. Maybe you get a quick little spike up towards around 977, right around that downtrend, right at that VWAP. Supports at 917. REV will be live in about 2 minutes. Okay, on REV, you will be live in about 2 minutes. So we'll definitely be shifting our focus back on over to REV. But right now, as that stock is halted, I want to see if INDO starts popping above that 950 level. I don't think so, though. HUSA is back below 8. We have about a minute to go until REV is live. So we're getting ready to shift our focus back on over to REV. I was looking to see if we got a little bit of a bounce there off those lows. Looking to see if we could have popped back above 950. I added in down there off that low a day to bring that cost basis down. I'm pretty much break even. So I want to see, do I go ahead and take my profit? Do I go ahead and just get out of this? Do I hold it a little bit longer? What do? I added down there at low of day, bring that cost basis down, and I'm wondering, do I go ahead and just get out? right around break even, right for a small teeny loss, or would I hold this for a little bit longer and see if we do get that pop? But I'm not really liking it. I don't really see the potential. I don't see the volume. I don't see the strength. Plus, REV is getting ready to be live. So let's shift our focus back over to REV. I am watching, just so you know, INDO off to the side with a finger on the trigger. And I may start getting out of this right now for a small little loss if we don't start squeezing here over 950. There's 942. It's trying to get some action here. REV should be live in 3, 2, 1. We are live. We did not gap up. We opened relatively flat. So not a huge gap up. Right now you have room back down to 205. You have room back down to 205 here on REV. If you don't see it all the way down at 205, you have room. Next target to the upside is 294. So next target to the upside would be 294 to $3. But if you do start pulling back, 205 is your level of support. 205 is your level of support. Right now, I'm still managing this INDO position. If it starts to pop above 950, I may, take a little bit of profit along that push. But I may be getting out right here at break even or for a small little loss because it's just not looking all that great. And I do not want to hold this back down the low a day. I'll probably just go ahead and cut it for a loss. Go ahead and bite the bullet, chalk it up as a loss, move on to the next best opportunity. Again, we're watching REV back down towards around like that 205 level. So I'm still holding my INDO position at this point in time. I'm not out yet, but if I start to see those buyers back below 935, I'm going to go ahead and just walk away. Going to go ahead and walk away for a small loss and then look for the next best opportunity. If it doesn't start breaking above 950, I'm just going to walk away from this. If it breaks 950, I may add to it because I think we have room to 975. So right there, you just hit 297 on REV. This thing is still taking on off. If you break over 3, you do have room next up towards around 364. So your next target would be $3.64. But INDO is starting to tighten up here a little bit. We're going over to INDO, guys. INDO is starting to tighten on up with that spread. The price action was looking a little bit better here. It looks like it wants to break above that 950 level. So let's see if we can get these buyers up over that 950. It's probably going to take place on this candle. If it's going to break that 950, it's going to break 950 right here on this candle and start popping up towards around that VWAP and the downtrend. I think this candle right here is the candle that either A, breaks and it starts ripping up another 25 cents, or B, it starts cracking below 935 and it starts dumping down below low a day. So this candle and the next candle is my make or break. I think it'll be this one, but it's either this candle or the next candle that either A, stops me out, or B, puts me in some profit. And right now it looks like it's going to be that stop out candle. Spreads are about 10 cents too. So spreads are about 10 cents at this point in time. Again, if I see those buyers falling below 935, I am walking away from this for a small loss. And right now, I'm probably going to get out. I don't like the price action anymore. Again, that last candle was the one that I thought was going to be the break over 950. Should have been the break if it was going to break and rip on up. Most likely would have happened on that last candle. Still has potential here, but right now I'm leaning more or less towards it's coming back down to like 915. And that's why my finger's on that sell button, getting ready to walk away if for some reason it doesn't just pop and break over 950 here. PayPal partnering with Grubhub, just so you guys know. Grubhub partnering with PayPal. Yeah, there's like no volume on INDO. HUSA is sliding back below $8. Oil's pretty flat. I'm just going to go ahead and walk away. I'm out of INDO. I'm out, guys. I'm not really liking the price action. I thought there was potential. It showed potential. But now that I see HUSA dropping, INDO is probably going to start dropping. So I'm going to go ahead and just get out for a $300 loss. So I'm out 311.31 on that trade. And I was out at 936. I wasn't liking the price action. I saw HUSA starting to drop on off. I see oil kind of just flat. I don't see the potential with INDO anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and walk away. Gave it a chance. I saw the potential. Didn't work out. Walk away from it. Spine the Qs seem a little choppy. You know, you're really fighting for that that 375 to hold above on the spine. You're really trying to hold above that 275 on the Qs. Definitely sideways. Definitely choppy. And again, that was kind of our conclusion is either A, I do believe that we'll see the Qs back over 280 today, the SPY back over 380 today. I think we'd see a little bit of a bounce, or sitting sideways. Markets don't really react. Markets don't do anything. We're really waiting for tomorrow. And that's really where investors and traders are at, is they're just waiting for tomorrow. And so right now, that's what it looks to be doing. You're about 45 minutes in, and not too much. And again, that's probably what you may just see today. You may just see that chop leading up to tomorrow's FOMC meeting. So again, that may be what you just see today. You may not be able to trade the SPY and the Qs. You can't expect to come into the market and trade every single day. Some days you come in, there's just not really tons of opportunity. It may be super choppy. Your edge may not work. And if that's the case, it's okay to sit out and sit on your hands. It really is. You don't have to trade. Yeah, I only had one trade on the day too, guys. We're 45 minutes in, and I only had one trade, and that was here on INDO. And the reason I was taking INDO were a couple separate reasons that I walked you guys through in the moment. Number one, oil was breaking that level of resistance, putting in new highs. I'm like, okay, oil looks like it wants to continue to rip. So I go look at HUSA. HUSA is the best mover. When oil moves, HUSA tends to move first. I see HUSA starting to pop on up, looking to break over $8. I'm like, all right, cool. I like INDO. Oil's breaking and moving. HUSA is trying to get that nice little push to it. INDO is a nice low float, small cap oil stock. I'm like, I like it. We're holding above this trend line. We have this bigger, higher low that could definitely lead to this U shape, break above the VWAP, break the downtrend, break 10 and 1014 and really get some action. Why did I think INDO could get some action? Well, oil was getting action. HUSA was getting action, which leads me to believe INDO could get some action. We see INDO is building higher low, higher low, higher low. So I'm trading with the trend. The trend is my friend. Right at 950 psychological support, right at the trend line. Nice higher low here. I said, you know what? Just in case I'm wrong, I'm not going to go in 100%. What am I going to do? I'm going to go in with 25% of my position. And if I lose that 20 cents, guess what? It's $100. But if I go all in with 2,500 shares, 3,000, 4,000 shares, and I get stopped out right away and I'm long, guess what? I lose like $400 or $500. So I started a position right there around 950. It dropped. I added to my position. I went ahead and added to that to bring my cost basis down to see if we got a bounce. We got a little bit of a bounce. But then it started to curl back over. I got out completely for a $300 loss. So again, The reason behind the trade, I saw the potential, right? It had a few separate reasons behind it. Looking at oil, looking at HUSA, INDO is a stock that moves as well. It's a low float stock. It had that potential. I traded it properly. I managed my risk great with it. It was a red trade, but it was a good red trade. I would take that trade again. I would jump into a similar setup and a similar trade again, regardless of the outcome, knowing that the odds were in my favor. So I take that as a good red trade. Only set me back $300 on the day, which is fine. Takes one great trade to make that back, plus put you in the green. And that's what I'm looking for. Where's the next best opportunity? Where is the next best opportunity at this point in time? Definitely still have a lot of potential here with REV. Still have tons of potential with REV here. And if it ever breaks 3, we know we have potential to 364 here on REV. REV, we do have potential to pull back towards around 238, maybe bounce around 238, but I'm really looking at somewhere around this hiccup candle. I'd like to see this thing drop on off, maybe right around this hiccup candle. Could be as low as 205, as high as 225, somewhere around this little red candle. I do expect to see a nice little bounce on REV. So right now, definitely a top stock is REV. INDO is selling on off. That's coming off the watch list. HUSA can come off the watch list for now as well. SONM off the watch list. CLVS back below $1. That's done. SLNO's done. GMVD's done. All right, so REV it is. REV it is. And then QD pushing above $1 with some volume. So $1 support, 119 resistance. So resistance on QD, 119 resistance on ticker QD. But right now, REV is where my focus is. Steve, making your daily profit targets done for the day. That's what I'm talking about. Locking in 531 on the day. Congratulations. Rodney locking in 380. You got Corey for a nice little $80 on that small account. Kit's King locking in some great profits. Ken locking in some great profits this morning. Congratulations, traders. Way to make it happen.